What's up, guys? This is Crypto James talking to you today about VeChain. Um, VeChain has, well, the entire market's suffering right now, but VeChain has had more of an extended suffer in the sense of um, rules around China. I'm gonna dive into VeChain and look at what the potential is there in the long term. Before I do, I update the spreadsheet, the first 26 coins that I spoke about on the channel. I've invested $100 into each of these when I release videos about them. You're still holding that crypto, you'll be in profit for nearly 20 grand. This is after about 1 billion retracements at this point as well. And one thing I've been banging on about and I continue to speak about is building that list of coins you're excited about long term. We are in a bear cycle. Things are going to get worse. Things are going to decline more. And they're the best times to put money into the market. They just are. That's factual. It doesn't matter if it's the Nasdaq or gold or silver or diamonds or whatever, because long-term financial markets improve and increase and set new all-time highs. So, if you've not been building your list of cryptos that you're excited about long-term, you can come see my list. Copymycrypto.com is where I share every coin I buy and I sell. The moment I start pulling triggers on investments for the bear cycle, I'll be letting everyone know. So if you want to be part of that and find out what I'm getting in on for the bear cycle, then click the link in the description and check it out. Right, VeChain. VeChain is currently priced at 4 cents. That's going to drop. That will be below 3.9 soon enough. Just inevitable. Now, VeChain's had a tumultuous year. Broke heights of sort of 25 or nearly 26 cents or 26 cents. When news about China banning crypto came out, VeChain got hit hard. Rallied a bit in sort of the back end of or the midway through November or early November, and it has continued its decline. It's about a 6x from where it was at peak. Now, VeChain is a very, very strong crypto, and that's based upon fundamentals, right? They have an enterprise crypto that is utilized by some of the biggest companies in the world that use VeChain for supply chain reasons. Obviously, supply chain has had massive global issues for the past year, well, for obvious reasons. Now, VeChain is developing on a consistent basis, to be fair. They're smart contract now, and we've started seeing the growth in the VeChain ecosystem that still needs significant growth, because right now it's smaller than you would want. They have a 2-token model, which is pretty good, and I like that generally. I think that that's a sensible way of running things, because your second token pays for your transaction costs. Now, right now, VeChain is partnered with Walmart, China. You've got some of the biggest automobile manufacturers in the world that utilize VeChain. And fundamentally, what I would expect to see is that as we see a stronger development in terms of, or a stronger improvement in terms of supply chain issues, logistical issues that we've been having globally, I think VeChain will benefit from that. It's now, but it was only announced a couple of weeks ago, but it's actually accepted as a payment method for 2 million stores. Now, VeChain is one where it makes sense as a payment tool. Bitcoin, not so much. Bitcoin's used as a store of value. I don't know anyone that uses Bitcoin to pay for shit. I know people that get Bitcoin to hold Bitcoin. VeChain, I can see the point of people utilizing VeChain as a payment system. Obviously, transactional costs are minimal, and the transactions are processed very, very fast. So as a payment solution, makes sense. I'm not sure. I don't necessarily think that's going to be something that's a catalyst for it. 3 weeks ago, I know its price jumped about 10% off the back of the news, but it's not significant, and it's not something that over the course of time is going to have any semblance of a dramatic impact. But VeChain actually has real use cases. VeChain is utilized in very, very legitimate ways. The question is, how did they grow over the course of time? But if we are seeing development in terms of VeChain being utilized by more and more companies, if we actually see VeChain being utilized as stuff like VVote, which I don't ever necessarily see the online system coming into play for voting, not yet anyway. I think we're about a decade or two, probably two, away from that really happening. But if their actual ecosystem begins to grow, and I mean truly grow, where development occurs on VeChain, then the future actually looks really, really bright, because they do have some interesting projects. They do have some legitimate use cases, and all in, really strong. But development is key. Like I said, in terms of logistics, it's one of the most. It's used by countless companies, and I believe that can grow. I believe that makes sense. Now, combine that with the smart contract tech, combine that with the potential for something like DeFi on VeChain, which could be outstanding, and you've got a real strong project. Even Amazon Web Services has become a technology partner to VCarbon. They are growing, and they are making the right moves, but they do have to expand, and they do have to have real legitimate use cases by companies outside, to some degree, outside of crypto, because that makes more sense. If that happens, growth is inevitable. VeChain long term should be, or can be, 50 cents, maybe $1, but $1's a push. And $1's only a push because fundamentally, for VeChain to hit $1, it actually wholeheartedly depends on Bitcoin. It just does. VeChain for $1 would be effectively a $60 billion market cap, probably by the point that Bitcoin hits 150k or 100k. There's probably about 70 billion tokens knocking about. So then you're looking at 70 billion market cap. For it to have a 70 billion market cap, there are musts around this coin. One must is a growing DeFi ecosystem. It's a must. Potentially gaming. That's not a must, but that would certainly grow the value and the strength of VeChain and VeChain Thought. And the final thing is use. It has to be used. That list of companies that are currently using it has to grow. Its purpose is great, and its purpose could be utilized to end up being one of the most utilized platforms around. It really legitimately could, but it has to grow in that regard. More massive Fortune 500 companies, more billion-dollar companies using it, and then $1 is achievable. Until then, we'll see. I think long term, the price should still be very, very positive. The only other issue is obviously because it's founded and created in China, there could be problems there with, you know, the obvious issues around China's perspective around cryptocurrencies. And that could result in some unexpected consequences. That's what I'd say. I'm not saying it's an outright problem, but we've not seen, as an example, Neo. I know Neo have not really developed in the way that one would have expected. But Neo hasn't really had any semblance of price recovery after the China news, really. So VeChain could be subject to the same sort of roadblock in that regard. Long term, could it hit $1? Yes. Really could. Really, really could. If we're looking at a $10 trillion industry within crypto, VeChain is by far and away one of the strongest projects around, so the potential is there. But the roadblocks with regards to China, the lack of DeFi are barriers, and fundamentally, if the ecosystem doesn't grow and the businesses that use it don't grow, then the growth and the price appreciation will be stagnated. I do think new all-time highs should be not expected, but I do believe they're inevitable for VeChain. The only real question is when. But I would expect the next bull cycle is probably that moment. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it can hit $1? It's a big ask, and I'm not disputing that for a second. It's a massive ask. If you do think it can, explain why. If you don't think it can, explain why. I like to hear actual explanations, not no or yes. But let me know either way. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you know when new content is coming out. And if you're new to crypto, or you've been in crypto a while but you're not prepared for this bear cycle that we're in, then you can come check out Copy My Crypto. It's where I share every coin I buy, every coin I sell, and I'm going to be sharing all those bear cycle investments that I start making. So if you want to know what they are, click the link in the description and check it out. That's it from me. Take it easy. Bye-bye.